G'day guys, welcome to the Win, Learn or Draw podcast. If you can't already tell by the background, it's a West Tigers podcast, and the reason being it's called the Win, Learn or Draw podcast is because the Tigers don't lose. They either win or they learn, or sometimes they draw. Like that first ever game in 2000. With me is the great man, one of the most high profile Tigers fans I think in Australia. There's Dawn Fraser, Barry O'Farrell, who's now on the board. Anthony Field, and Hammy Goodman.
Hoping to join Barry O'Farrell on the board maybe a little bit later in the season. Elliot, I'm very excited to be here. Elliot Morton, my great friend and West Tigers tragic as well. You mentioned, we never lose. We are the win or we learn. And the West Tigers fans, I'm sure they'll agree, we're the most educated fans in rugby league.
No doubt.
We've learned so much, particularly over the last couple of years. The three-peat. Yep. But I genuinely feel at this point of the season, I'm sure you're the same, but I can't see a four-peat coming at this point, which I think is important. And, I'm looking forward to going on that journey as this proud club, has a crack at returning to its rightful place in the top 16, which is what the show is all about. That's
the journey we're going on. I think the top 16 is, I don't want to say certainty. I'll say an absolute. I think they're probably the same word, but I am so confident that we will make the top 16, which is probably why we're doing this podcast, right? It's to follow this amazing journey from going 17th to top 16.
It's going to be one of those things where you're going to, where were you when?
Yes.
And, we were hopefully with them every step of the way, getting the boys back to where they deserve to be.
Yep.
It's going to be a hell of a journey, a long overdue journey.
Yep.
But, I just think there's a real buzz around, Leichhardt, Campbelltown, Concord at the moment.
Well, I mean, with all the learning that we've been doing there, it's almost the University of Leichhardt. It's the Campbelltown College. It's more like they're learning facilities, I think it's about time for us to teach.
I'd agree. I think
we've been doing too much learning.
That's right. With West Tigers fans who are astute students of the game. That's what this is about. That's what this show's about.
Yeah.
And, yes, we've been potentially an easy target as a club over the last, over quite a long time.
We'll say 3 years.
Yeah, let's go with 3 years.
We'll minimise it to 3 years.
Exactly. But I think what you're going to find when you come to Win, Learn or Draw is you're not going to hear ripping shreds off the boys.
No.
The noise, around the club or the board or any of that sort of stuff.
No.
This is a positive zone where we're here to pick the boys up, hopefully give ourselves something to kind of put a bit of a smile on the dial of the Tigers fans, because we do need it, unfortunately. But as I say, there's a bit of positivity brimming around the joint for this year.
An uncautiously optimistic show about the Tigers, I would say. We are no holds barred on optimism here.
Yep.
The other thing, like you said, we're not going to faff about with off-field drama.
No,
there won't be any.
Yeah, unless it's funny.
Unless it's okay. Then we'll faff on about it. What's been happening, mate? You're jet lagged. Mate, you look fine.
Got back from Vegas today.
Was
lucky enough to be over there for the start of the season. Which was fantastic. But got in at 9 o'clock this morning. Came back, and I've just done a podcast straight before this, and then straight into this one. Now, you might think on paper, geez, you must be feeling pretty tired, pretty rattled. But getting the Tigers gear on, getting all up and about, it actually has got me, a bit of lead in the pencil to keep going.
I think putting this merch up,
not bad, eh?
Really got me. I think this is, like to your point before, this is the best part of the year.
Yeah.
There's just a buzz in the air. We've recruited sensationally well.
We have.
We haven't lost yet, or we haven't learned yet.
We haven't learned anything yet.
We haven't learned
Well, we learned a little bit in our first preseason game. But, no real harsh lessons yet.
Yeah, that was like a little tiny, bit of homework we had to do before the class actually started. Mate, I'm confident. I'm happy. I actually had my Supercoach draft.
Oh, okay.
Which is probably we went to Batehaven, which is like the Vegas of the South Coast. Catalina Country Club. Have you ever been?
I have, the Catalina.
Oh, the Cat, mate.
The Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah. Well, that was getting spouted a fair few times.
Yeah. It's great chat.
It's really good. And I bet you we weren't the first or the last to say it. But there's a band there playing banger upon banger, bit of Eye of the Tiger, which got me very revved up.
You request that, or they just did it?
Of course. Yeah. I thought it was karaoke. I wanted to have a go. Wouldn't let me up there. But Batehaven, fantastic. Drafted as many Tigers as I could.
I was going to ask, how many did you manage to squeeze in?
I got the good ones went early. Luai went early. Galvin went early. I got Dewey.
Which not bad.
Looks like he's kicking goals.
I'll tell you what. 40-20 in the second preseason, with the number 7 on his back. I don't think he won't find himself there this year, but he was looking good.
Yes, I agree. Buller. which I'm very upset about.
I know.
Weekend.
It's a bit of an injury cloud.
Yes, we'll cover that later. Yep. And Jack Bird, who also I thought would be starting at lock.
Yep.
But
impact off the pine. No, that's okay. He looked all right in the trials as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You've got a couple in there. Any Tiger-themed name for your team or?
No, I live in Waterloo, so Waterloo Wieners I went with.
Yeah, not bad.
Okay.
Gives you a nice little smile. We'll take that as well. I just did Vegas very quickly to touch on.
Sorry. Enough on Baithaven. Let's hear about Vegas.
No, I got very starstruck because we're lucky enough to do a little bit of stuff on the red carpet as kind of the players and the teams come through. They chat to some people. I didn't ask for a selfie all trip, but I got this close. I got a bit nervous and didn't end up asking him. But I was from here to you away, from Shane Elford with the Penrith Panthers.
No way.
I couldn't believe it. I got a little bit nervous, but
wow, premiership winner Shane Elford,
2005. Yep.
Yeah, number 3.
Yep. So he did. He won.
Did you say g'day?
No, I was too nervous. Couldn't do it.
Fair enough.
Which I mean, it's Shane Elford.
I know. So, I didn't speak to anyone in that squad, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think I've said g'day to Paul Fatawira before, but that's about it.
Yep. So he actually signed that jersey. Might have washed off by now, but anyway, so I did have a little bit of a Tigers experience when I was over there in Vegas. We got a chance to chat to Nathan Cleary as well.
Yeah. Tigers reject.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cooper actually asked him a question, and I was given the opportunity to ask him one, but he got whisked away. I was going to ask him when him and Ivan were going to do the honourable thing and come back to the club and finish some unfinished business. But maybe if I see him later in the season, maybe I'll hit him with it then.
That question has to be asked. How do you think he'd answer it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's done all there is to do at Penrith now. Surely that must be a bit boring. He might at some point want to reconnect with Jerome. Yeah. But he'd probably have to come through New South Wales Cup because we've obviously got Galvin in the halves with him at the moment. So
and Dewey. Dewey's next in the pecking order.
So he's probably fourth in line at the Tigers to get a crack in the halves. But maybe I'll ask him a bit later in the year. Yeah.
Mate, very interested to know how you became a Tigers fan. You're from Canberra, right?
I grew up in Canberra,
right?
Where you spent a bit of time as well.
Yes.
It would have made probably a lot more sense if I was a Raiders supporter.
Sure.
To be honest.
Yeah.
But I always had to be a little bit different, I think, as a youngster, and probably still do to an extent. And I think when the Tigers... the Magpies and Balmain merged in 2000. They were the new team. I loved the colours, loved the logo.
Yeah.
I thought, here we go. I'm going to get on board now and just get on board the new team. The Raiders also, at that era, they were known as the Faders, kept on dropping off quite a bit.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I wasn't, at that age of my life, I hated supporting a team that kind of was winning and then ended up losing. It made me quite upset.
So when was this? 2000?
Yeah.
Oh, because the Raiders had gone through their glory days. They'd
already gone through all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got on, probably about then, and then really got into my work. Sort of Rugby League Live came out, and I'd play a lot with the West Tigers, and Vossi brainwashed me with his commentary, and away we went. So that's kind of how I did it. And I don't have any skin in the game as either a Balmain fan or a Western Suburbs Magpies fan. Don't get fooled by what we're wearing today. We actually, both of us have extensive wardrobe with both teams featured. So we'll mix and match that up through the course of
this is the whole thing. This is the unity that we're trying to show, is that we're wearing jerseys that are retro, but we're West Tigers fans.
That's right.
We're not Balmain or Western Suburbs fans.
Exactly.
We have the one interest of the one club, and that is it.
That's how we've grown up with, and that's all I've ever known. So it's a good point that you make. I'm very much a West Tigers, and I, always bothers me when we have the kind of, let's demerge, all this sort of stuff. Let's move on.
Get over it.
It's all I've known. What about you? Talk us through your, because you're similar. You got in when they,
Yes, I've only ever been a merger fan.
Yep.
Never. I was born in Campbelltown.
Yep.
I will admit that.
Good start.
Yeah, pretty good start. Right next to the Campbelltown College.
Yep.
And I was actually a North Sydney Bears fan for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
And the switch of them joining the Northern Eagles, there is no way you would ever support anything to do with Manly, right?
Yep.
Silvertails. And West Tigers came in, and the colours, the stadium, the recruitment, like Jared McCracken, Joel Kane.
Yes.
Like what? It's Sugar Kane, a good mate of yours.
Absolutely. Friend of the show. He doesn't know that yet, but sure we'll get him on at some point.
He has to come on.
Yeah.
Because I just remember... that year, 2000, just being like, all right, this is it. I think 10 years old is how old I was, and I was like, right, this is when you start really switching on and being like, I'm a super fan. 2001, I got a Don Smallgood's 2001 jersey, black one with the chevron, and I was absolutely stuck on since then.
Yep.
05, I remember going to... I didn't get to go to the game. You did?
No, I wasn't there, unfortunately.
Mate. Yeah, I remember making this banner of 9 A4 bits of paper. Orange, white, black.
Yep.
Black, white, orange. and then the third combo, and I was just waving it, and there was a barbecue of like 10 people, and I was
Love it.
painted orange and black, head to toe. So I've been a super fan
Beautiful.
ever since they entered the comp.
Yeah, my first sign, I think, of the game was Too Big, Too Strong, Tuaki. We took that down there when they played in. They might have played the Raiders there in 2006-7. I got on TV with it, so I was pretty chuffed with that.
That's good.
Yeah. Good year. He was my favourite always growing up, Taniela.
Yeah, Taniela was great. Yeah, he was fantastic. Mate, just want to talk a little bit about the structure or things that we'll be talking about on the potty. There's a few things that, otherwise we'll ramble on for way too much about the Mighty Tigers and the 05 lineup.
We'll get to that.
First thing we want to do is run through a set of 6.
Yep.
I feel like our completion rate this year is going to be the highest it's ever been. So
I agree.
I feel like if we can get through a set of 6 between you and I, there's no reason the Tigers can't.
What this segment is all about tone setting for the boys, and I'm sure Benji, he'll and the boys will be watching this. So hopefully, if we can lead by example, it's going to lead to a very high completion rate this year, which was potentially a little bit of an issue for us last year, along with penalty count.
Just last year, sin bins, penalty count.
Yep.
Drop ball.
Got refed out of the game a lot. Hopefully that will fix itself up.
I remember Cronulla beat us by 60 or something, and that was just poor refereeing.
It was just,
Origin round too, Origin affected round.
It was.
We didn't have any players.
No, but it was Origin affected.
Still an Origin affected round. Yeah. First one, because we're optimistic. I want to know about these new player signings. What do you think?
Love them.
Tackle one. Let's talk about the new signings.
Let's do it. Well, let's start from the top, shall we? Jerome Luai joins the club. And this is the one I'm most bullish about. Everything that he's said and done so far has really excited me. He left Penrith with a bit of a bee in his bonnet. I've made some comments. Can he do it as a 7?
Yep.
So he's ready to show that he can. I'm very buoyed by what Steve Crichton did at the Dogs last year.
Yep.
Basically turned the whole joint completely around, they were a struggling club, a bottom 4 side. The way that he's come in and changed with his leadership, that club, very exciting for me. So for me, Luai's a big yes. I don't know how you're feeling about having him.
Yeah, mate, I'm pretty bullish on Luai. Obviously, he's a born winner. He knows how to win. He took Samoa to a World Cup final, massive underdogs, and took them all the way there. I think he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders at the moment, which is a bit of a concern, obviously, considering he did have to play with Nathan and that elite team for so long. But when Cleary was out, he would always step up and just absolutely, he'd change his game. He's still got that deadly left foot step, but I just feel like he seems, because if you look at the spine this weekend, you got Heath Mason, 19.
Yep.
You got Galvin, 19, and you got De Silva, 19.
Yep.
So Luai's like an old boy in this team now. So I feel like 4 premierships under his belt and a World Cup final and a couple of Origin series wins. It's like you can't recruit someone better than that, really.
Absolutely. And the way he's talked about how, Benji being the coach got him there. It seems like now this is genuinely club players want to come to. Not just take the big paycheck and all that sort of stuff. So he was the first one to kind of come to the club. And since we got him, I reckon all the other ones have kind of followed since we got Luai. So
no doubt.
Let's go through them, I suppose. So Taruva,
I'm happy with. I think we need a bit of consistency on the wing, and I think he can provide that. I think he'll get picked every week, kind of thing, and that's something we need in the team.
Yeah, well, he obviously won the the Rising Star kind of best player for the Dally M a couple of years ago. So he's a great addition. He beat out Jareen Buller to that award a couple of years ago.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
So it's great signs to have both those guys in the team now.
And finish. He's a finisher.
Yeah, he's great. He gets through a lot of work out of the back. He's fantastic. Staying in the back line, the other winger, Jarrell Skelton. I'm
very buoyant.
We spoke about Taniela Tuaki before. He gives me some Taniela Tuaki vibes for sure.
Yes.
He was great in that second trial, just really strong run, carries with the ball. Yep. I know you mentioned Joel before, former Tigers winger. He reckons a left winger outside Jerome Luai is in for a big year in terms of lots of tries. So
he scored in the trials. I don't know if he scored more than one, but he definitely scored. He seems like that big bulk. He's like a big Nofaluma.
Yep.
Just not afraid to carry the ball out the back and can finish anything. So he's only in his 4th year of league as well.
Yeah.
So he's a rugby convert, and he is a bulk of a man.
Super excited about him. Yeah. I think he's going to have a great year. So he's the next one. If we keep flicking through, I reckon we've signed the best front rower in the comp, Terrell May.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Royce Hunt.
Oh, yeah, well, both of them. They're both, you can throw a blanket over them. They're both fantastic.
I agree, mate. I agree. Terrell May is a sensation. And a young front rower.
Yep.
Very hard to come by.
Because we've needed a bit of dog in the middle for a while.
Yeah,
and
we
he's
need
got
that
so
dog.
much dog. And he was so very impressive in that second trial. Made a heap of tackles, hardly missed any.
Yeah.
Ran for 150, 160 metres. And he's also got, he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, a bit like Luai, his old coach goes, nah, we don't,
Yeah.
we don't need you, basically. So he's come over, and I reckon he's in for a huge year.
Well, he fits Benji's kind of like family first mentality,
Exactly.
right? It's so obvious that the Roosters didn't see it that way.
Yep.
They're like footy, and their loss. I think I convert. I look at a lot of things through Supercoach lens,
Yes.
and seeing how many points he pumps out every single week when he gets minutes. And Trent Robinson was very, iffy on his minutes.
Not a big super coach guy.
No, I asked him DM'd him a couple.
Obviously,
times
didn't pick him up in the draft, so he just shafted him.
No, I didn't get him.
No.
But Terrell, he's going to play big minutes,
Yep.
no doubt, especially with this Clemmer situation looking pretty shaky.
Yep.
Looks like he's off to St. George Illawarra.
The Dragons, yes. And
Yep.
look, he probably came and served a role for a couple of years, but I think, if this is the call you got to make, I think that some of the options we've got in the front row, Pole,
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing him in the middle there this year. Just don't know whether a guy like Clement probably fits into what we need at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Twali's probably our veteran now.
Yep.
We don't really, if Clem goes, we don't really have a veteran there kind of leading the pack around. But Jack Bird, another great signing. I think a really solid player. Obviously been plagued by injuries, but geez, he's
versatile
good.
too, can solve a few issues for us if
Yeah,
need be.
yeah,
Yep.
100%. So I'm really happy with the signing spree we've been on.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you before we started recording, it's given me Mbai Madalino Packer.
And I said, don't get me too excited on the first podcast. So
It's not giving me that.
Yeah.
It's giving me the opposite of that.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yep. No, it's been-
Josh Reynolds, that's the other one I forgot to mention.
yes. Yeah. The big three.
They've done sensationally well. And
They've
I
done
think
real
it's
well.
all Benj, mate. I think if he sits across from you at a table and he says, come play for me, people
Yep.
seem to want to play for him.
What about another signing? Probably not as big of a name, but Tristan Hope, who has been named this weekend. And one of the great pieces of content, if you haven't seen it yet,
Yeah.
A, get out from under your rock, and B,
Yeah.
go and check it out. Not a dry seat in the dry seat, not a dry eye in the house. I was pretty excited by it as well because he deserved his start. I thought he trialled really well.
He did.
I was watching the trials like, who is this guy? He had clean hands, didn't miss any tackles, little nuggety guy.
Yep.
And he's obviously a little bit older, 27 years old. He's come down from Queensland to have a crack at the NRL. Great story and a great selection.
Q Cup winner as well.
Yes.
With Brisbane Tigers.
Knows how to win.
Alongside Fatape. So
Yes.
they played together and both got players player, I think, or something like that.
I was doing a bit of reading about him, and I think it was like 7 or 8 years ago, he was playing under 20s for the Broncos, and he played in a grand final, under 20s grand final. The halfback in the opposition team, Jerome Luai.
Yeah.
So
Full circle.
There you go. They're back together, baby. But a great bit of content. He deserves his spot. Can't wait to see what he's going to do on the weekend. Hashtag give me hope. Let's get that
Yes.
trending. Let's get it out there.
Give me hope.
Yeah, I want to get made as well one of those big, like Barack Obama hope signs, but like put his face on it and like an orange and black color scheme.
Yeah,
and get that down to a few games.
I reckon print it out on T-shirts, mate.
I think so as well.
That will explode.
Good merch. So just got to keep picking him. But early signs are good, and I can't wait to see him.
Benji obviously likes him.
Yes,
Likes him.
the way that Benji speaks in that video too, and this is the theme.
Yeah, tackle two.
Oh yeah,
Tackle two. Let's go. Luai's comments on Benji.
Yep.
So they were pretty publicly spread. He obviously said he'd die for him.
Yep.
Which is pretty extreme.
That is extreme.
But it speaks volumes, right? They
Yep.
respect him. And you watch that video, and I think we'll mention it a bit later, but this Thrive or Survive doco that's coming out,
Yep.
it's going to give us a good insight on what he's like as a coach, because he comes across so likeable, right? But he might be a bit of a hard ass at times, but he seems like, I don't know, he's got some gravitas, right?
Yes. I would die for a coach like that is the exact quote that you're saying about Benji. And I think a lot of these players have kind of said, it's the family first thing. It's a little bit different from the approach a lot of other coaches. New school.
Yeah.
It's Gen X.
It is.
It's 2025. It's a little bit different.
Millennial. No, Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Or are they all the same thing?
Oh, yeah, all that good stuff, all that end of the alphabet, you know what I mean? But Benji, a lot of people, some of the old school people kind of go, look, he had a mid-season holiday last year, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I
rate it.
I like it as well.
It's a job.
Yeah, and I've said it in this very studio before. We've seen what Benji did with a hodgepodge team of misfits for Team Collaborate on the Celebrity Apprentice a couple of years ago. He took them to glory, and a lot of people wrote them off early. If he can do that with these guys, and he's got a bit of star power in it. I think he got Daryl McMullen into his team in Celebrity Apprentice. Now he's got Luai, and other
storyline,
and other people want to come and join and be part of that team now, which is what we've seen. So. I think now that he's got the squad that he wants, yes, last year didn't go as well as we wanted.
Yep.
But you can see and you're hearing that people actually want to play for this guy.
Yep.
I'm very bullish on this year, and I think it's a great sign that this is the sort of language and what have you that the players are using. I think we're going to learn a lot about Benji and his approach in the doco, which we'll get to shortly as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, I guess the players in this generation that are coming up now, that we're signing, they would have admired Benji as a player, you know? Like a lot of the current coaches are a little bit beyond that in their bygone generations. But Benji is so current and so recent that these players would just be obsessed with him. Yeah. They'd still be watching his highlights.
That's right.
For inspiration. And you and I, like we grew up watching Benji and he just has an aura about him as a footy player and now as a coach that obviously is attracting talent.
He does. They talk about a lot with Origin coaches and like the key to a good one and a not so good one is they've got to have that kind of like pull with the players. Like, oh my God, I used to watch this guy growing up. Like, and I think Benji, as you just said, he's got a little bit of that. So that bodes very well. Very well.
Speaking of boding well, preseason, tackle 3, preseason.
Yep.
There were 2 games.
There were.
Learned in one.
Taught a lesson in the other one.
Taught a lesson.
Yeah.
Down Leichhardt Oval, you were there?
I did. I braved the expensive ticket prices for a preseason game.
Yeah.
You did get 2 games of footy in, so you know. 2
games of footy's good.
Went down with the NRL roast. Actually, he followed me around. He's doing a little series this year.
Roasty,
He's getting
friend of the show.
Friend of the show. He is. He's doing a little series where he's going around with big fans of teams to like their home ground just to ask him a few questions and kind of get a bit of a game day sense. So I went down with him. Yep. But we looked slick there. I was really happy with that. We touched on Dewey ran in at number 7. Kicked a 40-20. Set a couple of tries up. Looked to be moving well, which is good coming back from that injury last year. Yep. But look, he looked great. Obviously, he's going to get a start in the centres, which I think is fantastic. I think he fits in there well with obviously Luai and Galvin in the halves. Terrell May were very impressive there.
Yeah.
Royce Hunt, one that we probably jumped over after initially joking about him in the
Sorry,
size.
Royce.
He was great off the back fence. He came a few times, ran the ball really hard.
Yeah, that's that good impact bench player we need.
Exactly.
Hey? We've been lacking that. I feel like Terrell May and Twali and those guys will lay the foundation, and then we've just got someone off the bench to just keep it going.
Exactly. But we looked good in that game, and we had a solid win there. Which I think that just filled me with a bit of hope. Obviously, we were trying a few different players out and whatever in the first game, so we can take that lesson. That's fine. Take that learning.
Yeah. Down at Cogra.
Yeah.
Not a good place to learn. We don't want to learn there again.
No. We're not going to play the Bulldogs at Cogra too often during the home and away season.
Okay, good.
Is what I learned from that.
Yeah, I didn't see that on the draw.
That's good. So, look, I feel buoyed. What did you take? Anyone that impressed you?
Mate, Galvin. I love watching him play. Yep. There's something about him. And it's funny when you would admire someone that's old enough to be your son, but I really love watching him play. Yep. And even last year when, they were touting him in the preseason, they lined him up round 1 or 2, and I was like, they've got big raps on him through the juniors and whatnot, but he's come up another level, it seems, on the off-season. So, I was very, very happy to see how good he was going. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like a lot of players, sometimes the second year can be a bit harder. But
that's right.
He came back and defended his titles with all the fitness testing and stuff like that, which is great. He's put on a bit of size as well.
He does. Yeah,
he was mucking around with the sort of Jason Ackermanis kind of goatee, bleached hair kind of look as well, which I love. And apparently him and Luai are clicking real well at training. Like they're getting like a lot of, hanging a bit of shit on each other, getting around each other. So that for me, I think he'll be learning so much off Luai as well.
Yep.
Going to be interesting to see. Obviously, he killed it playing on the left side last year, but Luai's a left side player.
Yeah, I was going to ask you this.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think Luai's going to go that way because he's a left footer too. So
that's a good point.
Kicking on that way, Galvin's still probably young enough that he can adapt, and he roams around a bit anyway.
Yeah.
And we did see him kind of going down the right a little bit more in preseason and doing quite well. He did form a good partnership with Samuel Afanu last year, But I'm sure
Yeah.
Luai will be just as dangerous with him over there.
That's
But
Samuel Alafano. What a player.
gun.
A player.
But I can't wait to see how... We haven't actually seen them play together yet. This week will be the first time.
I'm very excited.
Yep.
At Campbelltown.
Yep.
The graveyard. The ninth wonder of the world.
Yeah.
Can't believe we've got 2 of the 9 wonders.
Yeah, I
as
know.
our home grounds.
What a club.
I know.
What a club.
Bank, no, Combank, not one of them.
No, not one of the
wonder.
one. A great place. That's probably the 10th wonder.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're in the top 10.
Yeah. And just finally on the preseason form,
Yes.
they're good to extract a bit of revenge on the Parramatta Eels for spoon bowl as well.
Yeah.
I think we'll call it even for that now.
I feel like, you're only as good as your last win. So that's done. They're the wooden spooners.
Do we need to draw your diagram?
Pass it on.
Your chance? Exactly.
Tackle 4, mate. Hammy.
Yep.
You got to interview
Yeah, I did.
our captain.
Yes.
Captain.
Yep.
And I'm assuming you were pretty nice to him.
Absolutely. I noticed he's sitting the first week out, so maybe he's licking his wounds a bit after it. I, on a few occasions, have got to speak with our fearless leader.
Yep.
And he's always very giving with his time.
Yep.
I did ask him about, the Tigers never losing. They either win or they learn, and how it felt to be the most educated team in the comp.
So he knows about the potty then.
Well, I was just trying to plug it on there. I actually did tell him about it. So we're about to start one called Win, Learn or Draw. We'd love to have you on at some point.
Yeah.
He kind of laughed it off. I don't know how keen he is
That's
to continue talking to me, because every time I do, I kind
You
of...
rib him.
Yeah, it's friendly though. He knows that. He knows I'm a diehard fan. I flew up to Tamworth last year and actually was on the same plane as the team coming back the next morning.
What were you wearing? Were you wearing merch?
I think on the plane the next... I might have had that one on, the 05 jersey.
Yeah, the 05, yeah.
But
I mean, you can wear that anywhere.
Yeah, well, yeah. I only wear that on days that ends in Y. So no, he's good value. Yeah, but I asked him a couple of also about that. We've got 5 home grounds this year as well.
Yeah.
And I just asked him if that was because the board was banned from 3 of them. He played a very straight base. Said no comment, but look, he's a good man. We're so lucky to have
Seems
him.
to be, yeah.
How good is it? We've got like half of Penrith's spine now.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. The ones that kind of got it all going, won a couple of comps. So to have a
Absolutely.
premiership winning, or a 3-time premiership winning number 9 and a 4-time premiership winning number 7, that's pretty. Don't
And
underestimate.
then 2 of the best rookies in the league at 1 and 6.
Well, they'll be 5 or 6-time winning premiership players
I
themselves.
agree. We'll be the new Penrith.
Yeah, we
And
will.
It starts today.
It does. As soon as this podcast goes live, might be tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tomorrow morning. The guys on Channel 9 the other day, Smith, Slater, Joey and Freddie.
Yep.
We're chatting about the best spines in the comp. And we came 3rd.
Really?
3rd behind Melbourne and Penrith.
Really?
Yeah, they rated each player out of 10.
I think that's a bit low, to be honest.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, good times.
I mean,
ahead.
Jack Cole, Lockie Gavin. Hello. Anyway.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know how they.
Anyway.
How they I think Cleary was an 11 out of 10. You know.
Yeah, I'll
You know
take
they
top
like
3.
him.
I'll take top 3.
You take top 3.
Yep.
Probably the biggest news of the off season for Tackle 5. Tackle 5 always the most important.
It is.
So we'll address the most important issue at
Yep.
Tackle 5. There's a new song.
Yes, there is.
Anthony Field
Yep.
is obviously one of the biggest Tigers fans. Saw that he's going to start wearing West Tigers merch, not
Yes.
Balmain merch anymore, which is a
course.
huge that speaks volumes about where this club is headed.
It does.
If Anthony Field is wearing West Tigers merch and not
Yep.
Balmain merch, he said that he's going to record a new song, and he's just waiting for approval. But
Yep.
Luai is.
Yes.
Have you got the song?
I don't have so the song hasn't been
You've
actually
excised
released
or-
yet.
Yeah, okay. all
But
right. I
I've got
thought you
the
might have an inside scoop.
No, I've got the article though.
Okay.
If we want to have a, do you want me to?
Please give us a read.
So this one's out of The Age. This one went up on the 1st of March. Anthony Field, better known as the Blue Wiggle, said friends teased him when he told them he planned to pen a new victory song for his beloved West Tigers. How long will fans be waiting to sing that song? The mates would cheekily ask Field. Low blow. Field and his Wiggles bandmates have spent the past few weeks working on the song. They have had a bit of time to think of it, to be honest. It hasn't been the best couple of years for us. They hope it will be played after every Tigers home win. They pitched the tune to Tigers officials for the first time on Friday. The world-famous children's group has also written a rev-up song, which would be played in the middle of games and feature dance moves that incorporate the punching actions made famous by Balmain legend Laurie Nichols, and an uppercut to acknowledge West Magpies icon Tommy Rodonicus. So we've got both sides being represented here, which is what it's all about.
Yeah,
Anthony
absolutely.
Field bringing the club together.
That's so funny that both dance moves involve punching, but it's still a great addition.
Going to pack a hell of a punch, this song.
Yes.
There are hopes for a third song to be played after each try, which would be set to the Great Escape theme tune. Star recruit Jerome Luai even recorded vocals for the proposed victory song, with Field admitting the halfback had the talent to pursue a career in music once his football commitments were finished.
Mate, a few things. As a Canberra local, Raiders, when they play Green Machine, how revved up do you get? Yep. So if we
Their
have
musical experience is fantastic. You've got the Viking clap, you've got the Green Machine, sort of starts and ends there, but they've got a couple of things that, you know, get the fans involved, and that's what Fieldy's trying to do here.
Yes.
I've just read his book as well, Out of the Blue, well worth a read.
Okay.
A great read.
Friend of the show?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
I'd say so. Yeah, he'd be great to get on at some point.
One of the co-writers of the Tiger song is The Tree of Wisdom. Do you know The Tree of Wisdom?
No.
Oh, if you look up The Tree of Wisdom, he's one of the Wiggles background dancers. He's actually Anthony's nephew.
Yep.
And he is one of the co-writers of the song. He's gone viral.
Yep.
So he's got talent.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be a winner. I just hope the Tigers tick it off.
Hopefully we hear a lot of it this year.
I think we will.
Yeah.
I think we will. And finally, tackle 6, end of the set, the Thrive or Survive doco coming up tonight. We're recording on a Wednesday.
Yep.
It'll be out in very, very few minutes, actually.
Yeah. Better wrap this up.
How exciting.
No, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I mean, just when I thought the Tigers had won rugby league content for the week yesterday with the Tristan Hope signing video, which was just a real tearjerker.
Yep.
Great stuff. But then I saw the clip go up that coming 6 p.m. tonight, Thrive or Survive.
Thrive or Survive.
Yeah, which I like.
Something Benji said.
Says it's all based in a preseason kind of like military camp style thing.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen, just the way that he kind of like pulls people aside and, you know, goes, I need a bit more voice from you here, or, you know, and seeing Jerome kind of leading the charge, setting the tone. It certainly put a bit of lead in the pencil, I will say.
It should be a cracking doco. I mean, I'm still a bit scarred from the last one.
Yeah.
Tales from Tiger
Town. Not our best work there.
We were.
Fly on the wall as we finished 14th or whatever it was.
Which is good, though. That's top 16.
I mean, that'd be a dream result based on the last few years. I'd take 14th.
That doco's out tonight. Well, it'll be out once this potty comes out. So
we'll thoroughly review at 1 next week. We'll probably review at 1 and our famous victory in round 1 next week extensively.
Yes, which we'll touch on in a second.
Yep.
One of the segments we were going to cover today, but we probably didn't have enough prep because you were in Vegas and I was not. Bayhaven.
You're picking your drafting your Supercoach team.
Yes, that's right. We had a lot on.
Yep.
I had a classic team. I got a draft team. I got the whole kit and caboodle.
Double threat. The duality of man.
Is a top 05.
Yep.
So we're going to run through the top 05 moments in Tigers history in certain themes and whatnot.
Yep.
We're not going to cover it today.
No.
But just keep an eye out for Ep 2 because we will be producing that kind of stuff.
And let us know in the comments, what nostalgic, if it's a certain position or a certain role at the club. What would you like us to count down over the next few weeks?
Sponsors.
Jersey sponsors.
Jerseys. Whatever. We'll count them down.
Do we want to tease the one for next week or just keep it up our sleeve?
Why don't you tease it?
All right. The first one we're going to lead off with next week is the top 05 West Tigers players you haven't thought of in a while.
Top 05 West Tigers players you haven't thought of.
I'm not going to rattle any off now. I'm going to keep them up my sleeve. But, don't touch that dial.
That's good. If anyone can guess one, send it through and we'll reward you.
Yep.
But what we are going to move on to now is raw emotion.
Yep.
So I've scoured one of the great Facebook groups in history.
Yep.
West Tigers Will Never Die, which
I'm a member. I'm a proud member of that Facebook page.
As well. I saw they said, welcome our new members this week. Yep. I reckon there were 250 plus.
Really?
It's growing.
They're jumping on board.
Yeah. They know what's coming.
People know what's exactly. Top 16. Here we come.
So this is now I only got these from top contributors too. Okay. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Good way to filter out the riffraff.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So this person, I won't name names. They've said, please be patient with Skelton and get behind the big fella at all games.
Yep. Good start.
He made his transition to league in 2023 and he's still finding his feet working through the finer nuances of the game. We will see him get targeted and found out at times. He still has a few hard lessons to learn.
Yep, that's what we're here for. We're here to learn.
But his ceiling is undeniable and he is someone I'd love to see stay and prosper at the club. Now he says, this is the raw emotion bit.
Yep.
Get behind him and slap down anyone chipping a bloke who's earned a starting spot in an NRL side after 2 years of playing the game.
Yep.
My hot take for anyone that cares, Skelton will be a starting second rower alongside Sam Weller in 2027.
Wow.
So there's raw emotion, there's hot takes, there's the whole kit and caboodle.
Yes.
What do you think?
It's a big same game multi off the bat, isn't it? That bloke. I love where he's coming from because I think he's going to be a star as well.
Yeah.
2 years in the game, he's already playing like that. Unbelievable. I remember I said he reminds me of Taniela Tuaki before. He ended up moving towards the back row a little bit, did a little bit of both, which I don't hate. But I think having a big barnstorming winger out there on the left, very important to start your set with someone who can just get the ball back.
Yeah, so important.
Strong ball runner. And he looks like he can finish really well as well.
Yes.
He scored a couple of tries through the preseason, and also he nearly had a double in that second game against the Eels. I think one got pulled back or done a classic dodgy call against us. But
classic.
All the ingredients are there. So I'm on board with this one. I'm not as sold on the Willie move to the back row. I think we're pretty well sorted there for the time being. But that's a strong start for raw emotion.
Do you think now with too strong Tuiaki, you'll get a too good, too strong Skelton?
Yeah. I mean,
doesn't really roll off the tongue.
No, there's something there. I'll leave it with me. I'll come back to you on something around Skelton, but I think we're going to be seeing a lot of him. So probably in my best interest to get moving there.
Number 2, why is Shane Richardson dead against our West Tigers ever playing in Vegas?
Yep.
What are your thoughts on this? Let's discuss it below. I know if we were announced, I'd work extra hours to be there with my family and our jerseys.
Love it.
Are you as a supporter for or against this playing there? This guy is a top contributor.
Yeah.
One of the greats.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can already tell just by the way he's going about his business.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people in Vegas asked me this. They said, what do you think of Richo's comments about that? And I rate them. I think it's business first and then Vegas later. We're not going to Vegas until we crack back into the top 16. Once that is done, then it is time to get over there and showcase the best club with the best supporters in the comp. But until that point,
we'd fill that stadium.
We would.
We would fill that stadium.
We would. But in the meantime, he's removing distractions. No Vegas, no barbershop in the centre of excellence.
Yeah.
He's removing the distractions until we can get back on the straight and narrow, and then we can kind of revel in our success a little bit. So I'm on board for the time being.
Okay.
I hope we get over there eventually.
Yep.
But I think they're a bigger fish to fry right now, and right now that fish is to get back in the top 16.
Correct.
Yep.
Baithaven, maybe? We could go down and play Baithaven.
Yeah, we could go down there.
Yeah,
that's not too... The bright lights down there can sometimes bring the worst out in blokes as well, though. So what do you think?
Sin City of the South Coast.
Sin Bin City.
That's Tigers. Mate, I'm looking for any excuse to go.
Yeah,
and if the Tigers went, I wouldn't have. I would have to go.
Yeah. Have to do the show from over there.
Leave the wife, leave the baby behind, and just straight over to Vegas. I understand where Richo's coming from, so I'm not mad about it.
Yep.
It's a bit of a patience is a virtue kind of thing.
Yep.
Just wait, it'll come.
Yep.
But I think if they want to, we also have to get good, like top 16 good.
Yep.
Because if they're putting on the best show over there, then they need to see Skelton scoring a hattie down the left.
Yeah,
wing.
I'm with you. I think we're tracking well, but we're just not. All we're doing is we're just not getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Which I respect from Richo.
Good call.
Yep.
And third and final, thank you, admin. So someone very grateful that they've been accepted to the group.
Start. We love that at the West Tigers.
I'm a diehard Tiger fan since the 80s, and I'm still here supporting from PNG.
Oh,
we win. We lose. 2025 is our year. So, two things I'd say to that. One, they just need to wrap their head around it's we win, we lose, we learn.
Yeah.
Which if they're listening to this podcast, I'm sure they'll
that'll make it. This will make it nice and clear for them. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And PNG supporters flooding into the site. Purely based on Justin Olam.
Yes.
And hopefully he sticks around for a little bit longer.
I know. Well,
some murmurs.
Not looking too positive at the moment, potentially. The big fella had a few issues with his knees and whatever, but love to have that support from PNG. Obviously, they'll have a team in a couple of years as well, but I think they've definitely got around the big fella since he's played at the Storm and obviously followed him to the Tigers. So love where his enthusiasm and his head's at, but just a little finer note there around the, we learn as opposed to lose. We don't just change that mindset amongst the fan base.
Yeah, good.
Yep.
I think, I hope he does stick around. If anything, he's provided a big PNG supporter base that hopefully will stick around now.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to see hopefully some Tigers jerseys over there before that team comes in.
That's right. We're well represented in the Pacific as well. We've got former Fijian Test front rower Gordon Whippy in the extended squad as well. Okay. So hopefully got some Fijian fans out there as well.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we've got Appy. We've got Taruva.
Yep. Spoiled for choice.
We are spoiled for choice. So that was raw emotion.
Yep.
Let's move on to the the real hard-hitting stuff.
Yeah. Just very quickly on raw emotion, and that is, it's spelled ROAR, so it's a double entendre for those playing at home.
Right.
There are aspirations to build that into some sort of like a interactive hotline at some point where you can actually dial in and just spill your raw emotion. We'll play it on here. We'll we'll interact off the back of it. But
get a burner phone, like a Nokia 3310 or something.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
From whatever phone was in fashion last time we won the comp, that's what we'll get.
I reckon it might have been the 3310.
Yeah. Simpler time. But that's where we're looking ahead with it. For the meantime, though, it'll just be, just casting our eye to some of the big supporter groups.
Yeah, if we can get some audio. I mean, audio makes for great audio.
It does.
So
you've always said that.
Yeah, that's Mordio's. That's my call.
Very good.
Yeah. So I think that'd be good if we got a voicemail service where people call in, give us their thoughts on the weekend. Hopefully, we've got some good raw emotion coming through the door. But a bit of bad always balances.
Well, that's right. That's whatever it is. We just want to see lots of passion on there.
Passion. That's it. 2025.
Yep.
Top 16 is a certainty. We know that.
That's a lock.
Whereabouts in the top 16 are you seeing the West Tigers finish?
I'm optimistic. Can we get back to where we kind of belong? Can we get back to ninth?
Wouldn't that be
Is that achievable this year? I think on paper, we've got a team that can finish ninth.
Do you not think we might, we're forming new formations and combinations. Yeah. Do you think we might struggle with that, or do you think
it might take a little bit longer?
Yeah.
Probably.
Ninth?
I'll tell you what I reckon's a pass mark. 12th.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon.
8 wins? 9 wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
9. Give me 9 wins.
Let's go 9.
And I'm happy with that.
8.5's the line, so let's go 9 wins.
Give me 9 of those around the 12th mark. For me, that is a team that's heading in the right direction.
Yep.
And he's starting to gel together, because you're right. It's going to take a little while.
It'll take a little while.
Obviously, a few little things to check. Galvin going to have to move on to the right. Players learning how to work with each other. But on paper, that team should be tracking towards the top 8, I'd say, next season. Some people are bullish on it this season. I'm not getting too...
You know who is? Gus Gould.
Well, now I'll tell you what, there's someone who knows a lot more about what they're talking about than I do. So if he's saying that, you probably can follow him in. I'm just trying to no expectations, no disappointments. That's kind
right. It's a good way to be.
Yeah.
I think, top 16 lock. I'm around 12th, 13th, 11th maybe.
Yep.
If we make the top 8 and you and I stand corrected, then glory be to the almighty West Tigers God, because that will be the best thing since 05.
Happy to wear some egg on the face if we're going to come in the top 8.
Literal egg.
Yeah.
Yep.
Legit. There's no qualms with that. But
we'll wear some egg.
I think we'll just be just outside the top 8. We'll see.
I agree.
Yeah.
So it all starts this weekend.
It does.
Campbelltown Stadium, Friday, 6 p.m. against, a formidable fullback and the rest of his team.
Yeah.
I was
just going to say, when you look at this team, Tigers versus Knights, you've got the most talented headgear wearing fullback in the competition and Kalen Ponga on the same field. Unbelievable.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
Little pocket rocket Heath Mason, isn't he?
Yes.
Like a Shannon Gallant level kind of.
The Mighty Mouse.
The Mighty Mouse too.
Yep. why don't we we'll plough through the lineup.
Let's do it.
Possibly.
Yep.
Heath Mason's at the back there. Dream Bull is still on his way back from a
shoulder complaint.
Bit of a niggle. Yep. Taruva and Skelton on the wings. Dewey and Fartape in the centres.
Yep.
Galvin and Luai giddy up in the halves. Terrell May and Fanua Pole are the front rowers. Talon De Silva's at hooker. Little niggle for Appy, which he picked up in the second trial, I think.
Yep.
Samuel Afinu and Alex Seyfarth. I love he captained the side in one of the trials as well. Seyfarth.
Big Red did.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
He did.
Oh, mate.
There's a footballer in there. If he doesn't get sin-binned as much as he did last year, that was all on the refs.
Yeah.
There's a great footballer there.
Speaking of the refs, really good sign this year. Have you noticed what they're wearing?
Yes, I have.
They're wearing West Tigers jerseys.
And I'm happy with that.
Orange, black and white.
Now we're talking.
It's a good omen.
It's a great omen.
Big Red, I signed up as a member, a little bit late this year, admittedly. But the day I signed up, they re-signed him.
Yep.
I was like, that is God telling me to just crack on as a Tigers
Absolutely.
fan. I'm so happy with that.
Absolutely. It was his birthday. Get around Big Red.
Yep.
Alex Twile at lock, which I like.
Yep.
Tristan Hope, hashtag give me hope, get that trending.
Yep.
Great piece of content.
Give
Go
me
and check it out about him getting his debut. Royce Hunt, Jack Bird, and Sione Fainu round out the squad. The extended reserves, Latu Fainu, Charlie Staines, Kit Laulili, Tony Sukar, and Ruben Porter. So, look, that's the side. I'm pretty happy with that side on paper. Obviously, one or two little niggling injuries there, but You know, I think that's a side that can give the Knights a big shake. I mean, they'll probably change their halves about 4 or 5 times through the course of the game anyway. They'll be all over the place.
How many halves have they got in that team?
They got 1, 2...
3? That's pretty conservative.
Yeah, they got a couple on the extended as well. So less than they'd normally have. But
that's true. Oh, imagine if Jacko Hastings got a run.
Oh,
I think one of the great things about this team, right, is the depth.
Yep.
You look at the New South Wales Cup squad this week, and it's stacked, man. Clemmer, Latu Fainu, Charlie Staines, Masamua Filiti, Kit Laulili, Ruben Porter, Tony Sukkar, Tim Johannesson. They're all, a few of them in the Reggies there, in the reserves, but this is some serious depth we've got.
Yes.
And we're missing half our spine this week. We've got the Knights who we can beat. Their halves are atrocious and our halves are gun. So I just feel like at this point of the season, before the ball's been kicked off, it's feeling good.
Yeah, we're in a good spot here. We're in a good spot. I think we win this game. I think we win it well.
1-12?
Yeah, I think it'll be... I don't want to get too carried away. Obviously, we are missing a few from our spine, but yeah.
I know there's another podcast that back their team 13 plus every week. Maybe we could be a bit more conservative and go 1-12.
Hey, baby steps. Tigers 1-12. I'll take
1-6
that.
even.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, mate, I think we can win this. A little bit worried about Ponga, as you would be every week, but I think matchups across the field, we can win this. And I think just the halves, just smoke their halves.
We're a bit more settled there, aren't we? I mean...
these two pick themselves every week. We haven't had halves that pick themselves every week.
No.
For years.
Correct.
Since Scotty Prince and King Bench.
Absolutely.
So,
look, they're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They've got a good back line, like Bradman Best, one we've got to watch out for as well.
Yeah, those centres are good.
That'll be a tough matchup for Dewey, but I think we've got him covered in the forward pack. Yeah, I think we can get the job done and extract a little bit of revenge for Tamworth last year, where they ground us out in a gritty...
I think it'll be a bit of a grinder this Friday.
12 sort of style scoreline.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think it'll be super flashy, but remains to be seen. Yep. Well, Ham, that's it for today.
That's
the intro potty.
Like it.
I think we covered all the most pressing matters. Anthony Field's new song.
Yep.
You prodding poor old Appy.
Yep.
Plenty of raw emotion.
There was a lot of raw emotion.
Yeah,
from both of us and from the fans.
Yeah, no. We had both raw emotions.
Yeah.
RAWROAR as well.
Yep.
Once we had top 05 in the mix.
Yep.
What a perfect combination.
I think we're humming.
What a merger.
I think we're humming. Well, exactly. Now we're talking. Anything else you want to see or suggestions, let us know in the comments. Like, we thought it was better to just get going than trying to get everything too perfect.
Yep.
That's very much how our club approaches stuff as well. Just get into it and just show signs of improvement, and everyone will be happy. So
not take ourselves too seriously.
Right. Much like the Tigers themselves.
Because we're not footy players.
No.
We don't have analysis, but we want to talk about, honestly, making the top 16. That is the goal.
That's right.
And if that happens, we've done our job.
Job done. That's all we're here for. So I think that'll probably do us for this week. Yeah. All right.
Let's do it.
We'll see you in the top 16.